Does body count matter? Ben Shapiro Destiny debate hosted by Lex Friedman. A 5 minute clip, which is great to react on YouTube because it doesn't consume so much time. And obviously, before we get into the topic, I will also spread some of my thoughts on it. But I don't have really a lot what to say. I think I tackled this discussion in a couple of my videos. I'm going to really try to make it in 3 sentences. Yes, it matters. Yes, it is different for a man and a woman, but you have to also keep a cool head whenever you're trying to understand this question. Yeah, here, simple conclusion. No, no, not a lot of actually. How do you say bullshit in a nice way that you don't say bullshit, right? Because I remember today, I was in a class. This could actually go. No, I'll keep it like this. I was in a class, and a colleague of mine, he dropped the F word, and he said, "Yeah, I apologize, but the system. I think we're talking about some system. I don't quite remember." He said it's completely effed up. And I thought, you have so many words you can use. You can say screwed, you can say messed up, you can say fumbled, you can say smashed. You can use so many instead of curse. How do I politely say BS and not using crap, not using some words like this? I have to learn English even more. But in any case, let's go to the video.
Rapid fire questions.
By the answer, my answer was go to church.
Religion, yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Well, we could talk about religion, but that's not rapid fire at all.
Okay, I actually now can hear the accent. Like when first they said Soviet, I was in doubt a bit, but then now I hear it. Now I do hear it.
Let me ask, this is from the internet. Does body count matter?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, this is an amazing question for this debate. You got a religious married man with 4 children, and you have a guy who's in an open relationship. Okay, let's listen to it.
You're really bringing up the red pill stuff.
Are you avoiding answering?
I mean, it depends on who you are.
Oh,
if you're somebody that
depends.
doesn't care about it, it doesn't. If you're somebody that does care about it, yeah, it does, of course. Depends on the...
Sneaky question. It's like, well, it's your choice. Just say it. Like, Zenovi, you're watching me on your stream with your viewership. If you think it is good, for you it matters. For me, it doesn't. Personal subjects. Let's just keep them simple.
The answer is yes.
Okay. Should porn be banned?
No.
Now, it's a tricky question. Should it be banned? I don't think so. But should people learn, like, how do we say it correctly? How do we say it in a nicely way so we don't offend someone and we actually make everyone listen till the end? It is a bad thing that you should avoid, obviously, but it's not something that should be banned. I genuinely believe that if you are that loser who will sit down and watch porn, then go ahead, do it. Like, you should be allowed to do this, because again, it doesn't really harm anyone. It doesn't it actually brings some people like money, so to say, because some people do it as a job. Now, do I agree with this job? No, I think it's a disgusting job that no man or woman, especially because women actually are more profitable in this sphere, and there are more women going into this show business than men statistically. They should obviously avoid it. But if you're willing to sell your soul to the demon, well, it's like Destiny said, it's personal. I don't think really that I'm going to ban you. However, I'm not going to, for instance, allow someone to talk about this in schools, or even to, show it at universities or stuff like this. Like, remember we talked about harming me, stuff like this.
If you could do it, yes. There is no benefit to pornography. It's
Is
a
it,
waste of time and destructive to
Yeah, but there's no benefit from a lot of stuff you do. Like, really, even I genuinely also believe that even, I don't know, smoking specific type of cigarettes or specific type of weed, there's no benefit in actually, a lot of the times there's no benefit in some social media apps. I don't know. There's not a lot of benefit even in some stupid games. Yeah, there are actually smart games, like Sudoku, etc. But there are some that just are a complete waste of time, right? That actually give you no benefit. Now, tricky point, because remember what I said last time. You can find benefit in everything. I'm not saying you should now, again, because a lot of people are gonna, okay, not a lot of people, but some people might actually question me about this. Well, you said that porn is a bad thing. I said you can find benefit. I never said you should search for it. So if you are eventually ended up smoking weed, I don't know, so to say, that at least think of something you can how can you actually benefit from it, in which way, you know and most importantly, is this benefit worth the negative results, how the benefits and the, god, I have to learn these English words.
the human soul.
I can't believe I'm asking this question. Is OnlyFans empowering or destructive for women?
Genuinely question for clicks. The only reason he is like, look at him. You just said you don't believe that you're asking this. My question: why then are you asking this? Uh, I can tell you why he is doing this. He's doing this for his podcast to get clicks. Because then you go on the internet and you see, Ben Shapiro talks on OnlyFans, got a click. Destiny talks about OnlyFans, got a click. It's not a topic, and I'm not even against discussing if it's destructive or empowering. It's just that you have two people who have a clear and obvious view on it, and everyone in around the world knows it. They have expressed it for dozen of times, and you still ask them this. Even if, for instance, there's someone who watched your podcast for the first time and they see Destiny for the first time, or Ben for that matter, still they can find so many. Like, why would you need to put? There really wasn't anything more interesting to put in.
Jesus, these are rapid fire.
Yeah, just you can't.
I mean, it's
Wow.
probably empowering for the ones that are making a lot of money off it. It probably
Okay.
feels disempowering for others that feel affected by the cultural norms set by women that do OnlyFans. There's my rapid fire answer.
No, it's destructive to even the ones who are making a lot of money, because when you degrade yourself to being just a set of human body characteristics that other people jack off to, it's bad for you and it's bad for
Again, Ben. Again, they're both taking notes. Destiny is trying to avoid some. Like, he's not trying to avoid. He is doing smart enough. He's protecting himself from. That's why I'm telling you that if you want to like learn something, so to say, about debate, he's not that bad of an example to watch, because he tries to smartly avoid, how do I say it correctly, negativity towards him. So really not trying to offend, yet you all know what he thinks about it.
for them.
Is rap music?
Absolutely.
Have you evolved on this? Or?
Have I evolved on this? So again, I'm going to go to what's the definition of music. My original argument about rap was that music involves the following three elements: rhythm, melody, harmony. Rap typically involves maybe one of those. There may be a melody, maybe sometimes.
I remember a funny argument when I was like 16 or something, and I argued with my grandmother on this subject. We were sitting and I was proving to her that I don't actually remember. Were we arguing about if rap is a music or because I remember bringing to her Eminem and I'm saying, or we just arguing that rap is bad. And I remember bringing it up Eminem and because I am a fan of how he writes his music. The problem that I have with rap, when defining it as music, why do we say read rap instead of singing rap? But again, music is not necessarily singing, but songs are for singing. So if rap is music, then are they songs? Because why would we then not sing them? Why would we only read them?
So it depends on the kind of rap. With that said, I could be convinced on this issue, but listen, I'm a classical violinist. I mean, that's how I was raised.
Oh yeah, right. He's a classical violinist. I completely forgot. I actually found the clip of him playing, and it's so adorable. But the funniest part of finding a clip of some celebrity when they are younger doing, so to say, stuff that is not really relative to them in their current ages, it's always fun to go through the comment section. If you never done it, trust me. I'm not gonna say it's worth it because it's also a waste of time, but at least if you're trying to find cheap dopamine, I would rather suggest this than porn.
I listen to Beethoven and Brahms and Mozart, like in the car with my kids. So is it comparable? Is it in the same category as Beethoven, Brahms, and Mozart? I have a very hard time sticking it in the same category as that.
All right, you're both world-class debaters, even public intellectuals, if I can say that.
Jesus.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
going real hard here.
I know. You both care about the truth. What is your process of arriving at the truth?
I think it's really important to, everybody will say that they're objective and that they are nonpartisan. I think it's really important to have mental safeguards for bad opinions. So for instance, like a couple things that I'll ask myself is for a particular debate that I'm having, like, can I argue convincingly both sides of the debate? If I can't, I won't bother having the debate because I realize that I'm probably too partisanly dug in if I can't even represent like an opposite argument here. Another question that you might ask yourself is like,
In a debate is actually a very good topic because not only I think that comes from the fact that he will lean to one position, so to say, but it also comes to the fact that he can already predict another side's arguments and he can already be prepared to destroy them. That I think is actually more realistically true than what he just said.
well, what would it take to convince you out of a certain position? If you feel very strongly,
Because again, if he can debate another topic, he won't know the arguments. He won't be that prepared.
that Medicare for all is a good.
Yeah, sorry, Destiny, for cutting you again. But I wasn't criticizing him for that. This is a smart strategy. It's just that I don't really think that how he just put it, like the reason behind this, is exactly how he's described it.
System by which to run the United States healthcare, and somebody says, well, what would it take you to convince you otherwise? If you can't even fathom, like, well, what would it take to convince me otherwise? You're probably too dug into a position. So I think if you go through life saying like, well, I try my best to be unbiased, rather than saying I try my best to be aware of my biases, because the latter is more realistic and the former is literally impossible unless you're a computer. So I think having like actual,
I think it's how they say that you should be not particularly like aware of what is of like the good part of you have to particularly be comfortable with what's not right with you, like not comfortable, but you have to understand what is not that good about you, and then think how to do it in your life, because the good stuff will already be good, right? There's a reason it's good.
mental practices that you engage in to try to counter some of the biases that you have is more important than trying to pretend that you're free of all biases and then consuming all your media from one source. Yeah.
Ben?
So, I mean, I agree with a lot of that. I think that the easiest practical guide is read a bunch of different things from a bunch of different sources, and where they cross is probably the set of fact, and then everything else is extrapolated opinion from different premises. That's sort of the short story. So read the New York Times and Breitbart, and they're going to disagree on.
Read, and again, listen, and listen. A lot of you people won't really read a lot of stuff throughout your life. I personally don't read as much as I would wish to, but I do listen to people.
A lot, but if the core of the story,
And the Daily Wire.
Certainly read the Daily Wire. If you read the Daily Wire and you read the Washington Post, and there's a nexus of the same thing, then you can pretty well guarantee that at least, if we're all blind men feeling the elephant, at least if we're all feeling the trunk, we know that there's a trunk there, right? You may not know what the elephant is.
And if you're feeling frisky, then watch Destiny as well.
Thanks.
You've talked about
Nice,
having a conversation, debating Ben for a long time. What is your favorite thing about Ben Shapiro?
My favorite thing about Ben Shapiro is, at least when we're in election season, he's very critical of his own party. I appreciate that. I feel like Ben generally tries to adhere
one of the
more.
reasons why I also do watch Ben Shapiro, because he has some stuff that I wouldn't particularly agree with, and obviously he has moments where he leads towards the side that fits him the most. Especially, we saw it at the beginning of the war in the Middle East. You know exactly which one I'm talking about. Oh no, I'm not going to play this fact. I'm going to say it straight up. When the Israel and Palestine war started, you could absolutely see how his rhetorics changed because of his closure to Israel. Which again, I'm not criticizing really because of my own origins, but I do remember how he talked when other conflicts, so to say, started, and yes, also when the Ukrainian war started, and not only those conflicts, but also the how do I formulate it correctly? The conflicts, in between, people inside the government of the United States and in other stories, and there was really, really a certain lean towards his own side. But yeah, with American politics, he is quite viewing the whole picture, at least trying to view the whole picture. I haven't watched a lot of his content in like weeks. Probably need to check out. This is actually the first one I do, is because it's technically on his channel.
To the fact-based arguments than other conservatives that I.
Now that I thought about it, did he put a clip on his own channel about why he's so good? And then he just goes on describing this. Like, they spent, I don't know, 20 seconds on this question, maybe even less. I think they spent really like 15 seconds on this question, and then the whole next ones were just follow-ups to it. And now Destiny's talking about how good Ben is. He just, yeah, that's also some good information about this video. You clickbait master.
Listen to, which is something that I appreciate because it's more fun to fight on kind of like the factual grounds of discussing things like foreign policy or whatever, rather than people that only inhabit the idealistic or philosophical grounds because they don't want to learn about any of the facts. So I appreciate that.
Ben, you've gotten a chance to talk to Destiny now. What do you like about the guy?
A lot of the same sorts of things, but it's really fun to see how you do your process. That is a cool thing. And it's a gift to the audience because honestly, doing what we do, so much of what we do is sitting and reading and being behind closed doors and educating yourself and talking with people. But getting to watch you do it in real time is a really cool window into how people think and how people learn. So that's a really neat thing.
They have two different posts, but really they produce kind of very similar content when it comes to debating. So that concludes our Ben Shapiro and Destiny reaction. We've streamed for an hour, and now you see that bat behind me. I'm going to go and close my eyes there because I have a daily accountability challenge record to break. Yes. And if you want to be the first one to check it out, you have to subscribe to this channel. Now, I know we're streaming on YouTube, so you really need to do it. You need to like this video immediately, or as I always appreciate, you dislike it, because I want to know if I'm genuinely doing the right thing or not. But don't forget to at least explain me why you disliked it, because I don't see the reason right now to dislike it. Maybe in the future I will, but now I don't. So help me get to the wait, let me set the camera. Help me get to that path quicker, okay? Yeah, and I forgot the key lesson of the stream to conclude the video that we just watched. Let me think of one quickly. We already talked about listening. Yeah, listen. Let's conclude the debate as we did the last video. Simply learn the skill to listen and speak last. Combined, it's a superpower. I should actually tweet that. I'm going to tweet this right now. But before I tweet this on my phone and before I go back to my bed, I wish you all a great day. And I really thank you for watching this video till the end. And we might stream in a couple more days. I'm not necessarily sure that even we're going to postpone it all the way till Tuesday. Maybe I'm going to go out live on a Saturday, but we'll see. Don't know yet. Be patient and be prepared to jump in. Bye bye.